Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we're going to be looking at the very finest, the creme de la creme of those lovely online multiplayer games on the Nintendo Switch. Because local is all well and good, but what if you don't have any friends? We're going to be looking at a wide variety of games, and we're going to be taking all sorts of things into consideration, or indeed we already have done, because this list has already been written. We're also going to be looking at these in no particular order, so there's no sort of squabbling, and there's always squabbling anyway, but we're trying to curb it. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive right into things. It's more Splatoon, and it's better Splatoon at the same time. It basically built off of everything that the original did, and it made the online a much, much nicer experience. It's still got a few wobbly things like, you know, voice chat, let's not go there. But even with its shortcomings, it showed that Nintendo really is taking strides to make sure that online is something that they're going to take seriously, and more importantly, do properly. Endlessly replayable, insane amounts of fun. There's nothing else like it out there. Oh, there's going to be some fun comments for this one. Regardless of your personal feelings towards it, it's undeniable that Fortnite is a bit of a sensation, to say the least. It's taken the world by absolute storm, and it's probably one of the most popular games just ever, to be honest, certainly at the time of recording. Whilst it may not hit that lovely 60 frames a second that you get on PC, if you've got a decent enough PC, and PS4 and Xbox One, this is without a doubt the best way to play Fortnite mobily. For all its issues and for all the hate that it gets, there is very little else on the Switch that can compare to being one of the last two remaining people in a game of Fortnite trying to inch out that victory royale. It is something really special, even if I haven't played it in bloody ages. Rocket League! Proof that analog triggers really aren't that big of a deal, although it would still be nice to have them. The fact that this port exists is good enough, but the fact that the port is as good as it is absolutely unreal. Obviously, this is down to the wonderful work of the lovely people over at Panic Button, who have done other things such as Doom and Wolfenstein, so if you haven't seen it before, you can be pretty confident this is going to be a good. On the surface, it looks fairly straightforward, but lordy loo, when you actually start getting deep into this game, things get so complex and so fine, it's just, oh! Unlike a lot of Nintendo stuff, this isn't one of those games that's easy to pick up but difficult to master. It's one of those games that is actually quite difficult to pick up, but it's so worth it. Go on then, hands up who thought they wanted a Tetris Battle Royale game, and then hands up people who actually ended up really loving it. Tetris 99 is a game that by all rights probably shouldn't exist, but the world is a much richer place for it. I mean, just the idea of a Battle Royale Tetris game, it just makes no sense on paper. It's like adding 4 and 9 and getting H. I mean, it is just Tetris at the end of the day, but it's Tetris online with a load of other people, and it's way better than it has any right to be. I'm the first to admit that I've never won, what do they call it? It's like a Maximus, Tetris Maximus or something, but even so, I've had an absolute blast, and it's one of those games you can just pick up for, 10 minutes, half an hour or something like that, go online, have a load of fun, and then just, sort of go, okay, and move on and do something else. It's brilliant, and it suits the Switch perfectly, and it's an exclusive, which always makes me a little bit giddy inside.
Coven's foul magic will lead you to your death.
Thank you for the warning, but I do not fear the cultist magic. Their traps are easy.
You know what, I actually reviewed this game, and realistically, I'd never played a Diablo game before, which wasn't a good. I played it mostly single player just because, you know, online wasn't really a thing for the Switch version for a long time because you had to try and find other people who had the game for review. You know, it's not important. The important thing is then I tried the multiplayer and oh my goodness, gravy biscuits. This thing works so well as a multiplayer game. It can pretty much be as difficult or as easy as you like, and whilst you can just sort of play locally and have fun locally and sort of mill around, you all have to be on the same screen and it can be a little bit restricting. But when you go online, that's when things get especially spicy. Because you're not stuck to one screen, you can just wander around and you don't even have to be in the same area if you don't want to. I mean, I don't know why you'd do that, but if you want to go wandering off, you know, and take on a big boss and die on your own, you can do it, baby. It's a fun experience solo, but it's so much more rewarding to be able to share the looting experience with a friend or three, and yeah, that means that the online makes it a very good. What do I even have to say about this? I mean, is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online. Connections may not be perfect 100% of the time, but this is easily the best online Mario Kart game we have ever had. I mean, it's basically Mario Kart 8, and, you know, there was Mario Kart Wii, and I think that was it. No, Mario Kart 7 had online, and I think DS. Regardless, the point is that this is the best one, and not only can you race online, but you can also battle online, which is far more fun for me. I love racing, don't get me wrong, but there's something about the battle mode that just sings to me, and it's finally good in this deluxe version. It wasn't on the last one. True, you'll probably get paired up with someone who has a ridiculously high score, and therefore will just completely wipe the floor with you and play as a me that supposedly looks like them, but even so, it's a hell of a lot of fun. If you find the situation I just mentioned too much, just play with friends. Much like Fortnite, this is another free-to-play game, but it's not a battle royale, which is a rarity in this day and age. Paladins is what is classified, according to the internet, as a hero shooter. It's a first-person, or in fact you can go third-person shooter, where you have to kill a load of enemies or push a payload to a location. It's another one of those games that's simple on the surface, but it's so deep underneath, and there's so many different tactics you can employ, especially when you've got communication with your entire team, and you ideally know who they are, because you're probably going to need Discord, I think. The fact that the characters offer so much variety, and the whole thing is free if you want it to be. I mean, you know, there are paid things that you can do with it, because it's a game designed to make money. But even so, if you've got the determination, you can make the entire thing free, and it's probably one of the most robust online experiences on the Switch. And it's got crossplay, which is never a bad. Oh, I wish this game got more love than it did. I adore ARMS, and I'm absolutely rubbish at it, and I know that there is still, like, a competitive scene still going because I've got a chum who's in it, which is mad, but it is just so much fun, and overall, as an online game, it works pretty well. Some of the systems are a little bit sort of outdated, and it's a bit of a shame that you've got such limited options when it comes to online, but it's still being supported, and it's still getting party crashes, which is what it's good, and they're still doing stuff with it. I mean, you can't deny they're really trying to keep this alive. The single player may be a little bit wobbly and a little bit thin, but the online multiplayer is just, it's just something so special. There's not a fighting game like it. I've been saying that a lot about these Nintendo games. Anyone would think the Switch was popular because of its games or something. If If there was a scale for the amount of time you had to put into a game in order to get something out of it, this wouldn't be a good one. Monster Hunter is notorious for being one of those series that is just so hard to get into and is so imposing as well. From the outside, it looks really tough and really complex, or it looks really simple and then people play it and realize, actually, no, it is complex. But if you can get over that first hurdle, this is an amazing game. It's fine single player, but if you take it online, things become even better, and arguably, it's overall a little bit more forgiving. Yes, the enemies are going to be harder because there's more of you there, but even so, you've got a lot of other people who can help you through and, you know, sort of help show you the ropes or take down particularly tough bosses whilst you stand in the corner and reap all the rewards. Definitely requires some dedication, but if you can dedicate, oh, it's so worth it. Much like how the single-player game harkens back to the old days of first-person shooters, so does the multiplayer. It sort of has that sort of Unreal Tournament vibe around it. Doom is excellent online. There's almost too much to do. I feel a little bit overwhelmed sometimes when I see just how much stuff I've got left to unlock. But it's great fun, and even though in the early days there were a few issues with connections and things like that, that all seems to have settled down now, and it's just a great fun online shooter. It was ported by Panic Button. What did you expect? In lieu of something like Halo or another one that might exist like Call of Duty. Oh, yeah, Call of Duty, that's one of them. This is a brilliant first-person shooter multiplayer game to have on the Switch. Very different to things like Paladins. It's much more sort of straightforward, not so hero-based. It's more of your sort of your hardcore kind of first-person shooter, if you have any idea what I'm talking about. If you happen to fall between the ages of 30 and 50, you no doubt have a seriously strong spot for the Street Fighter series. It was the whole thing in arcades for so long, and so Capcom decided that to celebrate this fantastic series, they're going to release the Anniversary Collection on its 30th anniversary. When playing online, you can play Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Alpha, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, which is pretty generous considering they could have just stuck Street Fighter 2 or Turbo or Ultimate or whatever, I can't remember the names. They could have just allowed you to play that and be done with it, and people probably would have been relatively okay with it, but they went the extra mile and they allowed loads more different games to be playable online, and they are marvelous. One of the less competitive games on the list, yes, it's Minecraft. Remember that? It's still being played. Mad. Minecraft is a game that's been around for, it just feels like so long now, and it's still as good as when it first came out. In fact, it's arguably better because it's not, you know, it's actually got more stuff to do in it now. It may not come with all the bells and whistles of the PC version, but even so, if you just want to play vanilla Minecraft online with your friends, you know, set up a server and have a world that you share between you, or better yet, take them into one that you've created previously and all these other lovely things you can do with it, it's the absolute best way to play it in my opinion, because it's got all the great physical controls that you would expect of a real physical game controller, coupled with the portability of just being able to take it any which way you like. It's brilliant. It's Minecraft portably with proper controls and proper online, and the online's great and it seems to work pretty damn well. What more could you want? Ooh, yes, it's that time again. I know I generally try to keep my language family friendly on this channel, but even so, you know, with this game, I've just got to say, it's really good. I have pretty much played this game every single day since it's, well, in fact, before its release, because I was lucky enough to review it as well. So yeah, and I've got far too many hours already. I'm into Elite Smash Online, and I'm still playing it and still enjoying it just as much as the first day I got it. Probably more so because now people are actually online. Loads of people do like to rag on the online, and yeah, there is definitely some room for improvement, but even so, for the most part, with a wired connection, it's a really good time. Response time for your inputs is about as good as you can expect considering it's going around the world. And of course, the gameplay is so ridiculously well refined, it just makes it so enjoyable that you can finally play it online and make it a good experience. I would like to see some quality of life improvements, but even so, even if they never came, I would still love the absolute arse off Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and probably would do for the rest of my life. Honestly, it's just so good. I think it may be my favorite game ever. And there you have it. Those are the finest multiplayer online games for the Nintendo Switch at the time of recording. Things can change though. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you play with that subscribe button online? Yeah. And be sure to check out nintendolife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.